Hey guys, welcome back. This is Lucid, and we're jumping back into Bumble Rumble Turn 22. Playing middle-aged Atlantis, and yeah, we have a war pending with Pelagia. So, yeah, if you didn't watch last episode, he has basically told us that he is going to wreck us with 180 gems of water elementals, which is scary. There's no way to say that's not scary. It's scary. And it's actually kind of safer for him to do it against me than for him to do it against Relay, because Relay can snipe his mages with his illithids. So, anyway. Okay, so we got a Ring of Regeneration from Arco, and we got a Nature Gem from Arco. He owes us one more Nature Gem. We also agreed as part of this that at some point he'll make me a Thistle Mace for cost. Well, not true cost, like he'll make the profit from it using a hammer, but he'll sell it to me for 10. And... one second. Yeah, and yeah, so we got a message from Pelagia here that basically sums up, I think, we had been talking in Discord, but he just sent this to me. So, with us now being mutually able to issue attack orders, we only wish to remind you that you should, that should you fail to resist our advance, you have only yourselves to blame. The forces you see on your borders were now originally intended to travel north next month. So, if you had made your declaration just 3 months later, you would have had a far more vulnerable position. Which, you know, like, whatever. He's been posturing with Relay back and forth, and who knows how long that would have gone on. You know, okay, he would have had more stuff, but so would Relay. He would have had more research, so would Relay. Maybe he would have moved, maybe he wouldn't. Time for me to go, though. So while the Squids lost several provinces to our fine raiding squads, we had not yet a single victory against their armies. So if you do manage to defeat us, you'll still have a large and fresh legion of Squid to share the pond with. Good luck. And I think that's a pretty good summary of the situation. But we'll see. I can, honestly though, I think with enough MR, we'll have to see. With enough MR, I can probably... what are these? Shamblers? I can probably kill Squids with Thugs. Though I guess they could do Water Elementals too. I hate the Squids though. We need to kill them early. Okay, he lost a Slave Guardian and a Slave Trooper. More income events. Okay, hello. We got an Alchemist. That's actually one of the better mages you can get through an event. Got a handful of gems, or more than a handful, and even more gems, so cannot complain there. You can see our Nature Gem income is going through the roof. It actually gives us a chance to potentially control Mother Oak. It's not cast yet. We have a phenomenal nature income. We don't really have the nature paths. Well, yeah, we're not really gonna have a chance at controlling it. I wonder... yeah, there's not really a way. I lied. Well, maybe in the mid-game. We can climb the nature tree, but it's gonna be tricky. We might have to empower Mr. Hands. I'm not sure. We are also a little vulnerable to Magic Duel. 6 you're not immune, 7 you're immune to level 1, but this guy has reasonable access to level 2s, which, I don't know the odds, it's probably like a 8% chance to kill me with the level 2. Maybe a little higher. With the level 1, he can't actually kill me outright, he can only kill us both, because there's like a if you tie, you both die type of thing. So, yeah. If I'm really worried about that, later I can make, and actually you can do it with these cross paths, you can make a Crystal Heart. I'm not sure what level it is, let me check. Yeah, they're both construction 6, so we're not going to be having that soon, but That is that. Now, let's see what's happened. So this is the army we were worried about. Basically, it's a bunch of Knights of the Deep. It's some Pearl Mages. Now, he has basically two places he can move with this army. One is he can move here. One is he can move here. If he thinks I'm going to attack him, which he might, he may choose to move here. What I expect he will do, because he's on the, this is like a very defensive move, and he may know that I'm building a fort here, because we got one turn left. If he does move here, then it actually is not bad for me, because then I have an extremely predictable move. I basically just have to defend this. Yeah. So, yeah, we're set. But what I think he's going to do is move here. Now, these guys, I just want to keep the hell away. This is my siege army. I do not want them to fight anything. But we are potentially going to need them here. So this province can only be attacked by mages. So it is totally possible that he sends 7 mages with 5 water gems each to try to kill me here. And it could work, but I have a shit ton of PD. And PD will kill water elementals okay. Just enough people attacking him. If you don't have him in enough number, which he doesn't have like an army to bolster. But basically what will happen, if he sends in mostly just mages, then the water elementals will stream forward and they'll die kind of as they get made. Especially with these hard-hitting dudes here, which are going to smack the shit out of him. So, if he does something crazy, I could lose this, which would be a big deal. But this is kind of the best I can muster. I mean, 37 PD is a lot. I don't think I can do much more. We're going to preach here, because... Okay, we can't really, but whatever, we're just going to hang tight. Yeah, I think that's just the best we're going to be able to do. But anyway, this is going to be if we get effectively raided by mages, which could happen. I would say... I don't know if it's likely or not. It's like a 50-50, I think, whether he does it. Then here is where I think his main army is going to come. So we've got a fair amount of PD. Now, what is the point of this PD? Well, it's to make it so that I can finish my buff cycle so that his knights don't come back and stop me. And I also don't want his knights picking off Darth Dragon before he finishes quicknessing and retreating. So, yeah, that's basically that. So here's our script: Quickness, Summon Earth Power, Iron Skin, Body Ethereal, Temper Flesh, Earth Might, Attack Largest. What is this going to do? Well, it's going to make me pretty freaking hard to kill. You can see I've already put my items on him. We've got 2 main gauches of parrying, we've got a Coral Sword, we have an Ice Aegis, and we've got Ring of Regeneration. So part of this is the parry, so his real defense is lower. But what will happen, and I've tested this now, and I said last episode I didn't really talk about the testing, but there's kind of a recipe for winning and losing this. Now I think it's very likely he's going to attack me, because when you have this many gems on mages, almost nothing can stand up to masked water elementals. I mean, it is so hard unless you have a big numbers advantage. Or, yeah, basically. If you don't have a big numbers advantage on masked water elemental, you're in deep, deep trouble. Now, he has knights too, so those are going to like form a front line while the water elementals build up behind it. What I'm going to do here is try to kill them. Or try to not die, and make him spend all of his precious little water gems, and we're just going to wreck the shit out of him. Now, what's going to be really good is his knights actually are going to be way lower damage than his water elementals. So having his knights surround me is actually going to make it way easier to tank the water elementals. And then most of them will die, and then they'll run off the field, so that's going to be really good for me. yeah, there's not too much else to really talk about here. Not for this, but in the test, oh, yeah, there is. So, what are the variables that matter? One is we need to be in friendly dominion. If I'm in enemy dominion, then my HP pool goes down, and the lower my HP pool is, the less I'm going to regenerate, and that is a huge question, or a huge factor in whether I make it or not. The second thing, and why these defense things are important, is the water elementals, I think they have 14 attack for their attack. Once I get surrounded, my defense is going to be at around 15, 14. And what that should mean is about half of the attacks. Now, my real defense will be 8 lower than that, so it's going to be like 6, right? So probably a quarter of the attacks will just straight miss me. And then of the ones that don't miss, like the other quarter or maybe more, are going to get blocked by my shield, which means I'm going to have 21 protection added to my otherwise pretty high protection. And I don't exactly know how that stacks. I don't know if it stacks diminishingly with natural protection or how that works. But anyway, it's going to be better than nothing. And what I found is that if your defense gets too low, then you're going to be getting hit too frequently by the water elementals and you can die. So we have enough defense here with 32, but it's going to go higher because it's going to get all the way up to 34 once we get quickness put on us. Yeah, and so once we get up that high, it will stabilize. I mean, we're going to have a huge harass penalty, but it will stabilize around 14, which is enough that, hey, we're still blocking like half the stuff, basically. So that's pretty freaking important. So this army, which is here, which he would probably love to plow these guys into, is going to move down here while this castle finishes to help shore it up. This army and this guy are going to come up here, and our job is just to survive and let him waste water gems. Now, if he stalls, I don't really lose much, you know? I mean, like, I could potentially attack him here. I don't know, I wouldn't do that because it's enemy dominion. I'd have to, like, waste a turn moving back. I mean, he could potentially just keep tying my god up with me moving back and forth, but in the meanwhile, he's going to lose to Relay. And he might be angry at me and be like, okay, well, whatever, I'll let Relay take my stuff, but I haven't really been mean to him. I've been pretty nice. So, I think he's probably going to try to win. So we'll see. I don't think he has any reason to give up yet. He's probably feeling pretty strong. So I think, anyway, I think he's probably going to attack. And probably try to take this fort, or both. And after he has both of these, he would probably be willing to make peace, like to push me back to here. And honestly, if he does that, I probably would make peace with him. But hopefully that doesn't happen. But nobody knows. So we'll talk research real quick. Research, we're going up to Thaumaturgy 3. It's going to give us teleport, which is going to be really, really, really important for us. It's going to allow us to magic phase attack armies, and if there's not a bunch of Pearl Mages there with water elementals, we can actually, we can go it alone. We don't really need quickness. It does need to be in our Dominion, but we've got a ton of Dom pressure coming out here, so that's good. And if we get this fort and put a temple in it, we'll be even better. This is kind of a weakness, though. I don't know what he would use to raid up here, but yeah, we're going to keep preaching here. Okay, so I think that is about it. I don't think we have any outgoing diplomacy, but this is going to be a really important turn. If I get crushed here, like if my god dies, we're not out of the game, because I have a fair amount of Holy Threes around that can sit around and summon him back. Like one here, I'm getting another one here this turn, or getting another one here this turn. And she can preach up my Dominion in here, but then I'm going to go back to making Kings of the Deep. I put almost all my money into PD, so like I was going to build a temple here, but now I'm not. We're going to search instead. Then we're going to build a temple and then a lab. We got the fortress coming up, so that'll be next turn. So we're a little behind, but this is going to be an extremely important turn for how this war goes. And rather than talk about it anymore, I think we're going to just peace out and wish me luck.